Hello there, happy Wednesday. Today I'm going to make meatballs, but I was thinking to myself, what can I serve them on? Instead of just doing just regular meatballs. So I decided I'm going to make a flatbread for that, and then kind of make like a little miniature flatbread pizza thing. We're going to start off with the onions. So what I like to do is I like to saute up my onions to give them a little pre-cook, just so because you've thrown them in the oven, they'll be a lot softer. So, let's get ready. I got my knife. Look how I'm holding it. Got the steel. Again, you can look at my knife skill video to reference back to that. So, you got a yellow onion. Got some thick skin. Alright, so we got that. We're going to cut this in half. We're going to want these pretty small dice. There we go. Now you can tell the difference between these dice ones and the ones on the bean video. The different sizes. So this is smaller. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the stove. I got my saute pan on. We're going to saute these bad boys up. Alright, well, I'm here at my stove, so I have my saute pan ready, and I added a little bit of olive oil in there. You can tell that my pan's nice and hot, how the olive oil is running. So we're going to throw in the onions that we just cut. We're going to hit a little salt on them, a little moisture out. What I'm also going to do, since I have older seasonings, which seasonings expire, so basically when they expire, they're going to lose their flavor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my seasoning to the onion. That way the oils are extracted from the heat, so we'll have a little more flavor to it. So I got a little thyme. We'll throw a little thyme in there. Got some oregano. Everybody's favorite rosemary.
Thank you.
Then we got our basil. So that's going to extract all the flavor out of the seasoning. I can already start smelling the aromatics. That smells so good. We'll get these a little more translucent, and then we will start building our meatballs. Okay, these are done. We're gonna let them cool, and then we're gonna head over to the counter. Alright, now we're back to the point where we're gonna start making the meatballs. So today what I'm gonna be using is I got some organic ground beef, grass-fed, grass-finished, but you can also use other proteins with this. I've made them with ground turkey. You could get fancy and start mixing things with ground beef and ground pork, or even ground veal, and mix and match. But we're going to keep it simple today. I've got some ground beef, and that's what we're going to use. This is also, I want to throw this out, this is an Italian style meatball. I also have another recipe for turkey meatballs closer to the holiday season. I'll bring that out when it gets closer. So where we're going to start, got my trusty knife. Got that? Now if you have a mixer, you can use that to mix it all up. I like doing it the old-fashioned way by my hands. So I get a little dirty. Little seasonings, we're going to do a little ground onion. Of course, we gotta have garlic. Then I like oregano. A little basil. Then I'll skip the rosemary. So we're gonna mix this, and then we got our breadcrumbs. So basically, we're going to mix this up, and what the breadcrumbs do is they're your binder. It's going to hold everything all together. So let's throw these breadcrumbs in. And again, if you have a mixing bowl and stuff like that, you can use that. So now that we have all that mixed together, what we're going to do is we're going to add the onions. We're going to add the onions from before. Plus it has all the extra seasonings in here. Alright, that's all mixed up pretty good. So now I'm going to wash my hands real quick, get a cookie sheet out, and we're going to roll them up. Alright, so now I'm back. I got these little nifty little meatball things. So what I'm going to do is place them. For the people on the freedom journey, you're going to want about
16. Turn this into 16 meatballs, and that's going to be about an ounce of meat per ball.
So yeah, turn this to 16 meatballs. That's an ounce per meatball. Alright, there we go. We have all of our meatballs ready to go. That's what they look like. Again, this is just a ground burger, our ground beef. So, our next step, I'll meet you at the stove and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Alright, so we're back. So now, what I like to do with my meatballs, and you don't have to do this, but this is just a personal preference. I'm going to sear them off before I bake them. So I got my pan that I did all the seasonings and the onions in, got some olive oil, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place the meatballs in the pan. Ooh, and I have room for all of them, so I don't have to wait. That's always nice. So basically, we're going to sear them. So, out there, my question is why do you sear your meat? Leave your comments in the chat. I know why, but do you? So yeah, now we're just going to brown these up.
Yeah, I understand.
So now we're going to turn them over. Basically, we're going to do this all around the meatball. And then once they're all seared, we're going to throw them in the oven. We're going to bake them up until they're cooked all the way through, maybe about 15 minutes at 450. And then after that, we'll make the flatbread, which only has 8 minutes left to go. Okay, so they're getting nice and good, just like I like them. So I'm going to pull them out, stick them back up on the sheet tray. Right, so after this, we're going to throw them in the oven for about 15 minutes at 450. Just check on them after 10. And then after that, once they're done and the flatbread's done, I'm going to assemble my flatbread for lunch. So hey, we're back. So the meatballs just got out of the oven, and so did my flatbread. Here's a picture of the flatbread and the meatballs. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make a little mini pizza with this. I'm just going to use some pizza sauce that I bought at the store. You know, if you want to make the homemade sauce, it's on the community. Just going to throw some on here. My wife's a saucer kind of girl, so I'll throw a little more on there. And then so what I have in my refrigerator is I got some provolone, so we're going to throw some provolone down. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place my meatballs. I'm going to cut them in half so they stay on the flatbread. Again, I'm using a serrated blade. cut like this. Always cut away from yourself. I think what I'll do is throw a little more sauce on here, especially on the meatballs so they don't dry out. Then what I'm going to do, put a little more provolone on here. These are just provolone slices. Because who doesn't like it cheesy? So now that's ready. I'm going to throw it in the oven. Wait till the cheese melts and all that stuff, and then this is what I'm going to have for lunch. So we'll get there. All right. Well, I just pulled it out of the oven, and there's what you got. So this is really, really high in protein because of all the cottage cheese and the meatballs. Very little carbs, so if you're going to eat it, you're going to need to eat it with a carb. But Amber and I are going to dig in, and bon appetit.